Welcome, guys, to the Meet Damien channel. I am Damien. In today's live stream, we're gonna be looking at some of these cryptocurrencies because they're like the only thing that's trading on this Good Friday. Okay, Happy Easter to those who are celebrating that. I most likely won't be doing a live stream on Sunday because I'll be with family. So this is gonna count as my Sunday live stream that I normally do here. And we're just going to take a look at the cryptocurrencies like we normally do here on Friday, April 18th. Okay, let's take a look. So we're looking at crypto bubbles right now, and you can see some cryptos here that are doing all right this week. Okay, then we have this big red glaring bubble, the gigantic red bubble, which is OM Mantra, down 89.7%. This week, and that's because their founders sold a lot of their cryptocurrency, and people are now speculating if that's a rug pull there. So I would stay away from OM if I was you guys. They're saying that they're going to try to do a buyback program, but they didn't give any details about that. So yeah, I would stay away from OM for the week. They're down 89%. Other coins like Movement down 28.6%, XCN, that is Onyx coin down 29.7%. But some coins that did well this week are Radium, which is a Solana decentralized exchange. You got Fetch AI up 13.2%. Solana itself is up 11%. Bitcoin Cash is catching some bids, up 9.1%. So overall, there are some coins that are in the green. Some of these coins are lagging behind in the red here. But let's go ahead and take a look at the charts here for Bitcoin, and then we'll take a look at some of these other cryptocurrencies. Right now, you can see that Bitcoin is trading at $84,586, and I'm looking at the daily chart here for Bitcoin. And what I really want to see, and I've talked about this on my live streams all throughout this week here, I want to see Bitcoin get above that red line, the 200-day moving average, which is currently sitting at $87,840. which also coincides with this 0.618 retracement level of 87,688. So 87,600, 87,800, those are the levels you want to be seeing for Bitcoin before we can start getting more bullish on this market. And then after that, you know, we could see Bitcoin come up to the we could see Bitcoin come to the 0.5 retracement level at 91,800, or basically about $92,000. Which is also where this 50-day moving average is sitting at. So that's probably going to be some resistance if Bitcoin does get up to 87, going into the 90,000. I'm expecting some resistance at $91,000, $92,000 for Bitcoin. That's a brief synopsis for Bitcoin. Those are the bullish targets. The bearish targets, you don't want to see Bitcoin lose $82,000, which is where this white line should be able to hold some support for Bitcoin. If we lose that $82,000, then we might come and revisit the lows here at like $74,000, $75,000. All right, moving on to other cryptocurrencies here. Let's take a look at Big Daddy Ripple, XRP, from my Ripple fans, okay? Ripple followers here. XRP is currently trading at $2.08. I just did a quick video. You can check out my YouTube short on it or my TikTok video. And basically, I was saying that, you know, if I go over to the VRVP here, okay, I'm just going to change this over to the VRVP indicator. All right, the VRVP shows some pretty crucial levels here for Ripple. You can see that Ripple has been trading anywhere between, you know, $2 to $3 for the most part, just range bound ever since the beginning of December 2024. When Ripple gets to $3, that's usually a good time to sell. When it gets down to $2 or below $2, that's a good time to buy. And that's indicated with this VRVP, which is showing that the value area low is at $1.75 for Ripple. That's a good area to be buying Ripple if you can. Okay, it doesn't stay down there for too long before it comes right back up to just about $2. Now, if you can get Ripple anywhere between $1.75 and $2, those are good areas to be buying. You can still buy Ripple here at $2.08 because I feel as though if Ripple is going to be bullish, then it's going to come back to the point of control, this blue line, which is a high volume area where a lot of traders bought and sold Ripple over the last 6 months at around $2.40. Okay, that should be your first take profit target if you're a short-term trading Ripple. But if you're in it for the long term here, you want to see Ripple get it past that point of control, the blue line, right? And you got a big gap which says that Ripple can come up to $3 in no time, really quick, really fast, like it did back here on the beginning of March. Okay, where we saw Ripple at like $2.12, and then it shot up to like $3 the next day. Okay, all right, it can easily do that. There's not that much volume once we get past 240, 250. And then your next take profit target would be about $3.19 here. You got the value area high indicated by this white line here. That would be the level that I would try to sell Ripple later on in 2025, unless you think Ripple's going to go to $5 or higher than that. But we got to see Ripple get past this point of control before we can even talk about a $5 Ripple. All right, Patrick Pasili is in the chat here talking about Onyx Coin. Do I like Onyx Coin? I think I like Onyx Coin. I know it had a big run about a month ago, and then it came down pretty quickly. We'll take a look at Onyx Coin, and then I see Paul's in the chat here, and Paul is saying Cardano. He wants us to take a look at Cardano, so we can take a look. We can take a look at Onyx Coin, and then we'll take a look at Cardano. And then we'll look at some other cryptos as well. You guys keep sending them the requests, and I'll go ahead and look at the charts with you guys. Okay, so let's take a look at Onyx Coin, and we'll see if I still like it or not, and where the price might go next. All right, so we have Onyx Coin currently trading at less than 2 pennies, about 0.018 pennies here. And you can see Onyx Coin. I've done some Fibonacci analysis on this coin already. Onyx Coin, very interesting chart. Okay, let me just get rid of the VRVP here real quick. And you see I've done some Fibonacci analysis on this coin already. But this thing shot up as high as about what, almost 5 cents on January 2025, about January 26, 2025. And then it just got beaten down after those Trump tariffs and everything else that's going on in the market. And it's making lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows. But we, for some reason, stopped right here at just below a penny, at 0.08 pennies here. Okay, and we technically, in a weird way, we created a higher low. Okay, and then we shot right back up again on Onyx Coin, and this thing got as high as like almost 3 cents on April 11th, about last Friday, and it's creating almost like a bull flag here. Okay, so you could call this a bull flag on Onyx Coin. Now let me just zoom in here a little bit more on Onyx Coin. What I see here is a bull flag, which gets me a little bit excited about Onyx Coin. And for you pattern traders, this is what a bull flag would look like. Okay, sometimes the flag goes down, sometimes it goes across, or sometimes the flag could even go upwards. Okay, but this thing is trending downward. It might stay in this flag pattern for a little bit before it breaks out, but when it does break out, you would just take this measure move, the flagpole here, you put it to where you think it's going to break out at, or if it does start to break out of this pattern. Let's just say it breaks out here at 0.018 pennies. You could see Onyx Coin come right up to like 3 cents out of this bull flag. All right. And I think that makes sense, you know, because right here with the Fibonacci levels here, you got a Fib extension level of 1.618 level, saying that this thing could come up actually to like 4 pennies. So I'll be targeting 3 pennies or 4 pennies as my take profit targets for Onyx Coin going forward into 2025 here. Those are my bullish targets. Now, if Onyx Coin for some reason, right, if it does decide to be bearish, then let's go ahead and turn on the VRVP levels here, see where Onyx Coin could go next. Okay, so I'll give this thing a chance to reset itself, You got the point of control saying that you should get some support here at 0.012 pennies. If Honest Coin does come down to that level, I would expect a reaction where this thing probably bounces off and goes to higher prices off that level. If we lose the 0.012 level, then we have another high volume node here at about roughly less than a penny at 0.009 pennies here. That could be another support level. If you lose 0.009, okay, which is like around this value area low, this white line, then you could see a doomsday candle that could bring you down to this other high volume node here at like 0.002 pennies, okay? That would be very catastrophic for a lot of investors. You would basically lose almost like 90% of your money, okay? That's why I think if you're going to plan this thing out, if you're short-term day trading it, you probably want to put your stop loss maybe at this 0.382 level here at a penny and a half. And if you want to, you know, a looser stop loss, and if you're able to buy down here at the 1 penny level, then maybe put a stop loss at like 0.007 pennies, okay? Because you could lose even more if you lose that 0.007 level. All right, let's take a look at Cardano. Cardano next on deck. ADA USD. Let me just zoom out here, get the big picture going on. All right, so Cardano is currently trading at 62 cents right now. Cardano's also been in a downward trend, just like Ripple and Onyx Coin here, making lower highs, lower lows. Okay, so I'm not liking that as far as the trend goes. What you want to see is you want to see Cardano start making higher lows here, which it might actually be doing. If you count this low here on Wednesday, where we got as low as about 59 cents, could that possibly be a higher low that's forming? I don't know, we'll see. But the next thing I want to see Cardano do is get up above, right over here, okay, where it made the last local high of like 77 cents. I want to see a 77 cent Cardano, and I want to see actually higher than 77 cents. I want to see probably like 80 cents on Cardano. Make a higher high before you come back and make another higher low, and then you know that after that the trend is actually onward and upward, that you actually have a bullish trend, okay? And now these levels that I gave you, okay, they correspond to the Fibonacci analysis here that I've done previously on Cardano, where you know, we measured from where Cardano got as high as like $1.32 on December of 2024 after the little Trump pump, you know, after Donald Trump got elected. It seemed like a lot of money went into the markets. And, you know, we're still eyeballing. I want to see Cardano recapture this 0.5 fib level at 83 cents. That would give Cardano a higher high and put more confidence in the market that Cardano might be reversing trend here and start going up to higher prices. Okay. That's what I have for fib levels. Let's go ahead and turn on the VRVP real quick. See if the VRVP kind of agrees with these levels. And I think it does for the most part. You got the point of control at like 73 cents, okay? That corresponds to this this 0.382 level at 72 cents. Okay, you want to see Cardano capture that 72, 73 cent level. All right, and then you want to see it push up a little bit higher to that 0.5 level at 83 cents, which is also kind of like where this other high volume node is at. And then after that, if Cardano can push past 83 cents, then you got a gap in the VRVP, and you might see a little bit of resistance at like 89 or 90 cents, but the value area high, which should be your long-term take profit target on Cardano, should be about $1. Okay, you want to start taking profits on Cardano once it gets to $1. Yep, we can do. We can look at Chainlink, and let me see if I miss if there's any other requests here. I think that's the only one that I have. I see Diesel's in the chat. let's see. Do I do meme coin reviews? No, I don't really do meme coin reviews. I analyze the charts, but if you have a meme coin you want me to analyze on the charts, then I can actually take a look at that for you. And if you guys are liking this analysis so far, don't forget to hit that like button. Let's try to see if we can get the likes to match the amount of people that are watching in the stream right now. Okay. All right, so we'll take a look at the Chainlink. Yeah, sure, why not? OKX. Actually, I want a little bit more data than that. Let's take a look at a Binance. All right, so here we are. We're looking at Chainlink at $12.61. Let me just try to zoom in a little bit there. Okay. I like using this VRVP indicator to give me ideas like where the levels should be for our take profit and for our stop losses. Right now, you know, with Chainlink being at $12.61, you can strategically put a stop loss right at the right below the value area low here. The value area low is at like $10.54. I probably put a stop loss at $10 because if Chainlink loses $10, it's probably gonna go lower. Okay, we don't want to see Chainlink lose $10. Okay, $10 is basically where you could have bought Chainlink back in like October of 2024. Then we had the little altcoin season that we had here, and then things came back and did a round trip on us. Okay, but you know, going forward here on Chainlink, right? I want to see Chainlink get up to this next high volume node here at like $14.40. Seems to be a good area for a short-term take profit if you're short-term day trading Chainlink. And then once you get past 1440, you got a gap here, and then the next kind of high volume node is at $17.96, and then you got $18.79. Could be another resistance level. And you can see that that kind of corresponds to this area where we traded sideways. Anybody that bought, you know, Chainlink and over here in like February of 2025, they might start selling their Chainlink just to break even. So that's why this VRVP is showing that, you know, there might be some resistance at that level. But the ultimate take profit target on Chainlink would be the value area high, which is currently sitting at $23.27. You would basically double your money if Chainlink can get back up to that level, which it was doing back in like January and December. Okay. Let me go ahead and get rid of the VRVP, and then let's try to see if we can find any levels here with a Fibonacci analysis. Okay, so here I am. I'm going to draw the Fibonacci from the top here, and on December 13th, where we saw Chainlink at like roughly $30. And we'll take it down to this low that it made here, down at $10.12 in April. And you got your fib levels there. Okay. The next fib level for Chainlink to get up to, which could cause some resistance, is the $15 level, which is the 0.236 retracement. And then there's that $18 level one more time. The 0.382 level shows that there should be some significant resistance at $18. Okay, that makes sense, because if you're buying Chainlink right now, you know, a short-term trader will see, you know, them making a 50% profit if Chainlink gets up to $18, and that makes sense that they would try to take profit, because, you know, 50% is a lot of money for some people out there who are trading with, you know, big money. Okay, might not be a lot for some crypto investors that want to see like a 2x or a 3x or even a 10x, but you know, for those who are just trading with a lot of money, you know, a 50% gain makes sense. You know, that puts you at the 0.32 level for Chainlink. $18 would probably be my short-term target for Chainlink going into summer of 2025. All right. Let me see if I got any more requests here. You're asking me, do I see Chainlink going back to 24.25? Well, I hope I answered that analysis here. Chainlink going back to 24.25, that would put it back at the 0.786 retracement level. And I think the VRVP also said that it could possibly get up to that level. You got the VRVP value area high. This white line says that Chainlink could possibly get up to like 23 bucks. So it's possible. And I would probably start selling most of my Chainlink once it does get to that level. I don't know if Chainlink has the juice to actually do like a 5 or a 10x, but I think it does have the juice to do a 2x from where it is right now. I think you could double your money with Chainlink. All right, Paul wants me to look at AVAX. Okay, Mario, we actually talked about Onyx Coin early in the live stream. All right, if you're able to rewind the video, you can take a look at my analysis on Onyx Coin. But I'll do a quick summary of my price targets here. All right, and then we're gonna look at AVAX. All right, so Onyx Coin roughly at 0.018 pennies here. I have a bull flag price target of about 3 cents. Okay, and then the Fibonacci extension says that this thing could actually go up to like roughly 4 cents. Okay, those are your bullish targets on Chainlink. You also have this value area high saying that Chainlink should get up to like roughly 3 pennies, just a little bit under 3 pennies. So 3 pennies seems to be the price target for Chainlink. Okay, this thing could come down to the point of control at like 1 penny. So be wary of that. You might want to put a stop loss at 1.5 pennies. Okay, so you don't lose too much money on Onyx Coin. All right, let's go look at AVAX. AVAX currently trading at $19.15. And I think AVAX is forming a bottom here. Okay, you got the double bottom, which I charted out here. And also the value area low is saying that if you're lucky enough to get AVAX at $14, you're getting a pretty good decent deal on AVAX. Okay, right now AVAX is currently trading at the point of control, the blue line. We got a lot of volume on the VRVP. This is the high volume node here. The highest volume node is the point of control, and that's sitting at about 18 bucks. So this should be a good support area for AVAX to then try to make a run to go to higher highs here. I want to see AVAX get above some of the highs that it made back here in beginning of March. I want to see AVAX get above $25 to become more bullish on AVAX. And then once AVAX does get up to like $25, which is this high volume node here, you got a big gap in the VRVP, and AVAX could shoot up to higher prices of about like 33 or even 36 bucks. And it could do that in no time, because look, just as fast as we came down on AVAX, probably just as fast as we could go up on AVAX. Before you get some people who bought at AVAX, they bought at like 36 bucks, they'll probably start you know, selling their AVAX just to break even, and that could cause a lot of selling pressure and resistance at the $36 level. You also got the value area high at like $38, so I would start taking profits at like $38. You'll basically double your money with AVAX if it does get up to $38. Okay, that's a 2x right there. And then of course, you know, AVAX could go to higher prices, but we'll have to see. You know, we'll have to see what could cause AVAX to go up to higher prices. But I think realistically speaking, 38 bucks, which is a double from where you are right now, 38 bucks should be your ultimate take profit target later on this year for AVAX Avalanche. Thanks, Dizzy, for liking the live stream. Guys, don't forget to hit that like button. I appreciate all the likes that you guys and the requests. I appreciate all the interaction that I get from you guys here. And let me see if I have a lot of requests here. I got so many messages that just came up just now. Yeah, so we just talked about AVAX Avalanche. And I appreciate the follow. If you guys are new to the stream and you want to see more streams like this, go ahead and hit that follow button. And for my YouTube streamers, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. All right, let's take a look at some other high market cryptocurrencies here. We'll take a look at the Solana. See how Solana's doing. Solana currently at $134, And wow, I got a lot of lines in the chart here. Let me go ahead and just use another Solana chart here, so it's not as crowded. Okay, here we go, a little bit better. Solana at $134. Solana is at its point of control right now. Okay, $134 is probably where Solana's gonna hang out for a little bit, probably throughout this weekend, before it gets some more direction as to where it wants to go. If Solana continues to be more bullish, then we do have the next high volume node here at $144. Solana could be the short-term take profit target for Solana. And then if Solana is able to push past that, then you got a gap in the VRVP, and it's showing that 160 bucks. It's probably where Solana's going to go next. And then you got another gap right there, and it's showing that 160.68. But actually, I think, you know, if I turn on the moving averages here, you'll see where there could be some resistance from the moving averages on Solana. Yeah, so if we get past 160 bucks for Solana, then we have the 200-day moving average, which is currently sitting at $180. That's probably going to be the next significant resistance level for Solana. Now going back to my favorite indicator here, the VRVP, or one of my favorites. I just want to give you a bearish case on Solana if there is one. As I start to zoom out and collect some more data here, right, we're going back to like September of 2023 here. You can see that we have a value area low here on Solana at 90 bucks. 90 bucks is going to be a good support area if Solana does go down to lower prices for whatever reason. I would be trying to scoop up some cheap Solana if I could at that area. However, I would be putting a tight stop loss, because if we lose like 85 bucks on Solana, then you got a gap here, and then it's not really showing much support until 75 bucks or even like 60 bucks for Solana. Okay, so you got like some very bearish price targets of like 60 bucks and 75 if Solana does lose 90 bucks. All right, moving on to I feel like we always talk about Ethereum. Ethereum is kind of depressing, to be honest, right? It's near its point of control. It's at 1592. You want to see Ethereum get above 1600 bucks, and then 1800 could be the next target, and then 1900 bucks, and then after that, you got the value area low here saying that Ethereum should come up to like $2,200. Okay. And then the point of control for Ethereum is at like $3,300, but this thing looks like it's just literally dying. Okay, if this is like a stock, I would be worried that this company be going bankrupt, to be honest, the way this price action has been on Ethereum. But I don't want to be depressing myself any further. You know, with Ethereum, I think I've said, you know, a lot of times here that, you know, Ethereum could come down to $1,200 as the next price target if it's going to continue being bearish. But yeah, let's move on to other cryptocurrencies. Excuse me, guys. See, just talking about Ethereum kind of makes me sick right now. Over here coughing up a lung. We got, we'll take a look at the SUI now. SUI's currently trading at $2.14. I got the VRVP going. I got a little bit of Fibonacci analysis going here. Let's take a look at some of these price levels where SUI could probably go next here. SUI is a little bit concerning because it's in a downward vicious downtrend here. But could SUI actually be making what I think could be a possible inverted head and shoulder pattern? Is it bottoming out here? We saw SUI get down to like $1.71. Okay, that $1.71 is a very high volume node here. Okay, it also happens to be with that close to that 1.8. I'm sorry, that 0.236 retracement level at $1.88. Okay, so it overshot that level there. And I mean, if SUI continues to go lower than $1.80, $1.70, then you got a gap here, and then the value area low is currently sitting at $1.30. You could see $1.30 on SUI if it continues being bearish. But let's hope it doesn't do that. Okay. If it doesn't do that, okay, then we do have the point of control here sitting at $2.24. That should be a good support area. We're a little bit below that, but once we get above it, I think we can use that as support. And then you got a gap here in the VRVP, and you might see a little bit of resistance at $2.80 for SUI. But then once you get past that level, then you can see SUI come up to like $3.21, which is the next high volume node here. So write these targets down. These are your take profit targets as SUI goes up to higher prices. I do think, later on in 2025, we will see SUI probably back at the value area high here at $4.20, and even $5 SUI, where we saw SUI get up that high back in January of 2025. Alrighty, so I hope that kind of gives you guys some targets there for SUI. I see Ross is in the chat. Ross is asking for Jasmine. All right, we'll take a look at Jasmine. And yeah. Let's see. Let's take a look at Jasmine now. Jasmine currently trading at about 0.01 pennies, 0.13 pennies here. And this is what the chart of Jasmine is looking like. Once again, a very bearish downtrend that Jasmine's been in. Let me get rid of some of this previous chart work here. Obviously, that didn't play out the way we thought it was going to. Okay. And we have Jasmine with the VRVP. The point of control is sitting at 2 cents. Right now, Jasmine is kind of like hovering near the lows here, the value area low, at about like 0.12 pennies. Okay. I think Jasmine is trying to create a bull flag here. Ultimately, I would have a take profit target of 2 cents. Once it does get up to that level, you might want to start taking some profits here on Jasmine. And I think that's roughly like a 70% move from where you are right now. Right, you're right here on Jasmine at 0.013 pennies. You come up to like 2 pennies. Okay, maybe not 70%. It's more like 47%. But yeah, it's a good take profit area for Jasmine there. Yeah, let's zoom in here. I do see that Jasmine caught some bids here and is creating a bull flag. Let me just draw that out for ya, and we'll see what Jasmine could do here. So there's the flagpole, and then here's kind of like the flag that it's creating. And you just take that flagpole, you put it to like where Jasmine could break out of this flag. And we're looking at roughly 2 pennies. So there you go. If you needed more confirmation and some confluence, you should be selling your Jasmine once it gets to like 2 cents for your short-term profit taking. You got the bull flag here saying if you get up to 2 cents, a little bit above 2 cents, about like 0.023 pennies. And then you got the point of control here saying that you should be selling at like 2 cents. Because there are a lot more other people are going to be selling at 2 cents. Anybody that bought Jasmine, like especially back in like November of 2024, where this thing was like trading at 2 cents for the most part, if they're giving up on crypto, they're probably going to sell at 2 cents just to break even. So you should be selling 2 cents if you're short-term trading this. But yeah, could Jasmine go up a little bit higher than that? I'm just trying to gather some more data here. Let the VRVP reset itself. You got a value area high of like 3 cents. You most likely should be selling your Jasmine once it gets to 3 cents. All right. Okay. Dizzle wants us to look at CRV curve, I believe, and then Sammy wants us to look at WIF, and then Moose Man put in a request for Dogecoin. Okay, well, I'll take them as they came in order here. let's see, we'll start with Curve, and then we'll do WIF, and then Dogecoin. So we have Curve sitting at roughly just under 60 cents, 59 cents roughly. And this thing looks like it's near the value area high already. Okay, so it already had a pretty decent run here. You got a lot of volume. The point of control is sitting at like 29-30 cents because you had a lot of people that were buying back in like June of 2024 at that level. So most people that are in Curve, they've already doubled their money, okay, with CRV sitting at the price it is right now. And I'm expecting there to be a lot of resistance, to be honest with you, on Curve now that it's at 60 cents. If Curve starts coming down to lower prices, you might be able to pick some up at like 50 cents, where this thing might get a reaction and try to create a higher low at the 50 cent area. Okay, if we lose 50 cents, I'd be very careful because you could come down just based off this VRVP. You could come down to like 40 cents or even lower than that. There's another gap here, and then now we're talking like 30 cents again on CRV. Okay, so just be careful. I'll be putting in some stop losses on this, but I think you might be able to scoop up some more Curve at the 50 cent level based off of this high volume node here. And then you can probably put a stop loss at like 40 cents. And if it loses 40 cents, it's probably going to continue going lower than that. Going forward to higher prices, if I can make a bullish case here on Curve, once you get past the value area high, there's not that much resistance. You might see some at like 72 cents, maybe some more at like 80 cents. Okay, where you got like some sideways kind of like trading action going on at 80 cents. But then after that, I mean, I think the next resistance level and psychological level would be $1 on Curve. Okay, let me try to zoom out some more because I think this thing has been at higher prices. Let's see what the... Yeah, so if I zoom out and I get data going back to like July of 2021 here, okay, we do now have a value area high of $1.06. So if this thing does get to $1.06, I would sell it. Yeah, because then you're just pushing your luck to see if this thing goes to higher prices, and it might. And if it does, you know, I think, you know, the sky's the limit here on Curve, because this thing has been as high as about $4, $6 in January 2022. That was after the last bull run and altcoin season in the previous cycle. So we'll see. We'll see if first it has to get past $1. All right, we'll take a look at WIF now, and then we'll look at Dogecoin. All right, so here we are looking at WIF, dog with hat, I believe that's what it's called. And you have WIF trading at 39 cents, up 5.3% today. That's pretty good. Oh, the meme coins getting a little bit of love for this week, or are they bottoming out? I'm just looking at the VRVP here, which gives me really good data. And the point of control is sitting at around 58 cents. We want to see dog with hat continue making higher lows and higher highs and try to get up to that blue line at 58 cents. And that would be my short-term take profit target. If you can get past that level, then the volume starts to go down on the VRVP here. You might get a little bit of resistance here at $1. Okay, so that's like a psychological level there. Okay, people think, oh, $1, I'm gonna sell when dog with hat gets to $1. So that probably might be a good level there. But you know, just using this data, you got a value area high and you got some sideways trading action that occurred at around $1.87. That should be your ultimate take profit target for dog with hat. $1.87, I believe, if I do the math here correctly. I mean, I don't really need to do the math. I can just draw it out here with the info line. If dog with hat goes from 39 cents up to the value area high here, you got yourself like a 381% gainer on dog with hat if this thing can start catching bids. But yeah, I mean, this is one of those meme coins where people are just hoping that they can get the same prices that they were able to get in at when this coin first came out and started trading on the exchanges. It's a little bit wishful thinking. I think $1.80, this price target here of $1.87 should be a realistic target for dog with hat if it continues going up to higher prices here. And you know, you got the value area low here saying that you should probably put your stop loss at like 28, 29 cents, because if we lose this value area low, this white line, then it's probably going to go down to low prices. And do you really want to stick around to find out how much lower it's going to go? I'd probably put the stop loss right there, okay? Which I believe, you know, that's, you know, you're catching some of these, someone was able to get lucky enough to buy dog with hat at like 31 cents and 30 cents. That's the lowest low as of now. So yeah, I'd probably put the stop loss at like 29 or 28 cents. And then you probably want nothing to do with dog with hat if it continues going lower than that. All right, Moose Man requested Dogecoin. We'll take a look at Dogecoin. And Edie Zillows is asking for a Symbol AI, and we got Stack with Stan saying Pro. Okay. All right. So let's move on to Dogecoin here. All right, Dogecoin roughly sitting at 15 cents, almost 16 cents. And just using my VRVP, which seems to do a lot of justice here for us. The VRVP is saying that the point of control is sitting at 16, almost 17 cents. That's probably where Dogecoin's gonna go next if it catches more bids. All right. But that's also probably where there might be some short-term resistance. Once Dogecoin is able to recapture that point of control at 17 cents, then you got a gap in the VRVP, and then the next level that we want to see Dogecoin try to capture and reclaim is about 20 cents, which is I believe that's like almost like a psychological number. And then this thing could then jump up past 20 cents, and then you got a little bit of resistance at 23 cents, but then this thing probably wants to see 25 cents if it goes up to higher prices here. And of course you got another gap here, and you got the value area high sitting at 32 cents. So that should be your ultimate take profit target, is that value area high at 32 cents. That's basically a double. You'd be doubling your money with Dogecoin if it gets up to 32 cents. You don't want to get too greedy. I think that's a good take profit level to start taking some profits and putting it into something else that might be able to make you money, or go buy yourself something nice. But realistically speaking, you know, as I zoom out and pull out some more data, you know, Dogecoin was trading at like 36, 37 cents. Back in like November, basically after the Trump pump, it was trading at 36 cents. So there's a lot of people that bought at those levels, and they're going to want to get out and break even. So when this thing hits 36 cents again, be ready to see a lot of resistance. It's going to be tough for you guys to break past that level. All right. And just zooming back in here, how much lower could Dogecoin go? You got the value area low sitting at like 12 cents, and another high volume node here like 14 cents. So if you're able to scoop up some Dogecoin at 14 cents, which is not too far from where it is right now, you might be able to get yourself a good deal. But I probably put the stop loss at 12 cents because if we're not able to go to higher prices after that, then this thing probably wants to continue the downtrend and go to like below 10 cents. And then do you really want to stick around for that? Probably put the stop loss at 12 cents at this current moment in time. All right, looking at ASM AI, Assemble AI. I got you, buddy. All right, we're looking at Assemble AI. Currently trading at 0.02 pennies here. And Assemble AI, I done some previous chart work here. I think I said that out of this falling wedge that Assemble AI has been in, you know, we were charting that this thing could possibly have a take profit target of about like a little bit less than 4 pennies, 0.038 pennies to be exact. And just using the VRVP here, the point of control is saying that 0.032 pennies is where this thing probably wants to go back to. The point of control acts like a magnet. The price will normally come back to that level at some point, unless it's gonna, you know, get some direction and either go sky high or drop to like lower prices here. But I would expect 3 pennies to be the next take profit level for Assemble, and then of course you got a little bit roughly under 4 pennies. I believe that's probably a good target because, you know, there's some people that say they want to sell, you know, this crypto at 4 pennies, and you might get front run by other people who just want to get out before the herd starts selling at 4 cents here. But yeah, that's roughly a 2x there if it does do that. 4 pennies. So almost a double there. And you got the value area low currently at 0.024 pennies. So this thing does want to start pushing up to higher prices. Let me go ahead and see what the moving averages are doing on this crypto. Yeah, so like the 200-day moving average is sitting at like 3.5 pennies right now. So that's another take profit target. I would say you should start taking profits between 3.5 pennies to 4 pennies on this crypto. You can put your stop loss at like right below this candle wick at 0.018 pennies. Put the stop loss right there, or 0.017. If it does come down, creates a double bottom, maybe you might be able to get away with not getting stopped out if you put your stop loss at like 0.017 pennies. All right, we'll look at Kronos now. And then Sammy, I believe, is requesting Hyperliquid. I'll take a look at that one as well. You guys got a lot of requests here for me. All right, we'll look at Kronos. Well, I guess some previous chart work here is saying that you know, we can make some higher lows, higher highs on Kronos, but Kronos is currently trading just under 9 pennies here at 0.084 pennies. And what can this thing do? What can this thing do? Well, let me get rid of this previous chart work here. Obviously, we want to see higher lows, higher highs here. Is Kronos actually doing that? I'm zooming in here. I'm looking at the moving averages here. And I do see higher lows being created on the RSI. So that gives me a little bit of confidence that this thing is starting to bottom out. And I'm trying to see if I can see any chart patterns here. This is just weird. You came up, only then come back down again. I think I've seen that in the Bitcoin chart as well. But you got your resistance here at 11 cents. If this thing can get up to 11 cents, you got the 200-day moving average that's going to provide resistance at that level. So I don't really see any divergences. There was a little bit of a bullish divergence in like March here as it was trading higher lows after the lower lows that it made on price. So yeah, it's just trying to form a bottom here. Let me go into the VRVP here. Let's see what the levels might be next for some take profit levels. Okay, so point of control is around just a little bit higher at 0.087 pennies on Chronos. So this thing is, as like most other assets, getting magnetically attracted to that point of control. But then once you get past that point of control, you got a gap here, and then you have high volume node here at like 10.5 cents. So like I said, you know, going back, you know, I said with the 200-day moving average at 11 cents, that should be your take profit area. If you're short-term trading this, about anywhere between 10 to 11 cents is where you should be taking profits on this crypto. And then you got the gap here, and then you got another high volume node here, roughly at like 13 cents, and then some more at like 14 cents. But ultimately, the value area high is sitting at like 16, almost 17 cents. And you're basically going to double your money once it does get back to the value area high. So I would probably make that my long-term take profit target is 17 cents on Chronos. All right, and I think I'll move on to Hyperliquid for Sammy, and then Ian is asking me about Solana. Do I think Solana will downtrend from here? We talked about Solana early on the live stream. You can take a look at my analysis. But as far as like Solana goes, if Solana is not able to maintain psychological $100 level, and there was also another important VRVP level at like $90, then we could see $75 Solana or even possibly $60 Solana. But yeah, you can look at my look at the live stream, just rewind it back, because we talked about Solana early in this live stream already. Okay, I'm going to move on to Hyperliquid. Let's see, which one do I want to use it on? Let's see what it's looking like on here. Okay. This is Hyperliquid, currently trading at $16.80. Hopefully I got the right chart for it. Okay. And I can't really get any VRVP data off of this crypto because it's relatively new. It came out in December of 2024. Had that little nice altcoin run where we saw this thing get as high as like what, 34, 35 bucks, okay? But then you weren't able to make any higher highs after that. You got a significant lower high here at like $28. So I think anywhere between $23 and $28 should be your take profit target on Hyperliquid. Because anybody that bought here is probably going to want to sell and just to break even. And let's see. Yeah, I don't really have that much data to work off of here. Let's try going into like the 4-hour chart, see if anything shows up. Yeah, still I don't have anything on the 4-hour. Let me look at the 1-hour chart. Nothing. I can't. It's not giving me any data with the VRVP. All right, let's go into the moving averages on here. Yeah, daily chart. There's not really that much data here. 4-hour chart. Okay, 4-hour chart's looking interesting though. Okay, so with Hyperliquid, you are getting above the 200 moving average, this red line here, which leads me to believe that you could be somewhat bullish on Hyperliquid. Don't be surprised if we come back down to retest this 200 moving average. and also where these other moving averages are sitting at about like $13.80. You could see that if Hyperliquid is not able to maintain its bullish momentum here. Okay, $13.80 would probably be a good area to buy some more. Okay, but I feel like once these moving averages start curving back up, which they look like they want to do, this cryptocurrency is probably going to use those moving averages as support as it creates higher lows and higher highs. I believe this is a decentralized exchange here, so it's got a pretty good use case. It's going to be able to make some money going forward, and I believe like Arthur Hayes is a significant investor in it. He didn't create this exchange, but he's investing in it, so you might want to look up Arthur Hayes. He used to be the founder of was it BitMEX, and it was a very popular cryptocurrency exchange back in the day. But he's no longer currently working on that. He's doing other projects. But if he's interested in Hyperliquid, then maybe Hyperliquid has some potential here. But yeah, Hyperliquid. I mean, you just game plan. Like if this thing goes down to like $9, you probably want nothing to do with it. Okay, but we'll see if like if it's able to use these moving averages as support. And I'll probably put like a stop loss at like maybe like 12 bucks here. Okay, if it loses 12 bucks, not the end of the world. You'll then want to see if this thing can hold 9 or 10 bucks, and then you can put your stop loss at like 9 or 8 bucks. And if it's not able to hold that, then maybe it's still going to be going into a downtrend here. All right, Mar wants me to look at Bitcoin. I think we can look at Bitcoin, and I'll probably finish the live stream on Bitcoin. Let's see how Bitcoin is doing after all this, all these other cryptos we've been talking about. Bitcoin is pretty much doing the same thing it's been doing. It's just trading sideways for today. Bitcoin is only down 390 bucks, down 0.5%. Currently trading at 84,580 bucks. If you missed my analysis on the last stream, I'll just summarize it for you. Going into the daily chart here on Bitcoin, I am eyeballing the $87,000 price level because that's where we have a 0.618 retracement level at 87,688, and then we also have the 200-day moving average at 87,800. So I think that's going to be the next level where, you know, Bitcoin could get some resistance. Some people might start selling their Bitcoin once they see that. But once we get past $87,000 and we use that as a level of support, then Bitcoin could come up to like $91,000 or $92,000, which is another fib level here. It's also where the moving average, the 50 moving average, is probably going to act as resistance at that level. And then bearish targets for Bitcoin. Short term, you know, I want to see Bitcoin stay above $82,000, which is the 7.786 retracement level. If Bitcoin is not able to maintain $82,000, then we have to start wondering, you know, how much lower is it going to go, and we might come and retest and revisit the lows here at $74,000. So that's my my summary analysis of Bitcoin. Where do I see Bitcoin going? 81 or 90? I mean, it's a flip of a coin for the most part. But I do like the fact that Bitcoin is getting above the 21 EMA, so that could also act as support at $82,000. I mean, it'd be a lot easier for Bitcoin to just continue selling off and going down to 81K. But yeah, if we get some more bullish news, I'm not sure what that bullish news might be. That's why we take a look at the charts every day, and we also look at the news to see what's affecting the markets. But I believe if we get some trade deals here going, if they talk about like lowering tariffs and doing some trade deals and getting rid of some rules and regulations and making good with America, that for Donald Trump to actually, you know, feel better about lowering tariffs, then yeah, I think that would cause Bitcoin to go up in price to the 90K area. I think that would be what leads us to $90,000. But also, I think if Donald Trump just doesn't say anything and we can just let the markets do its thing, we might see $90,000 Bitcoin as well. Seems like every time he talks, it causes the price to go down. Guys, I think that's going to be it for the live stream here. We talked about a lot of cryptos. I appreciate all the requests that you guys gave me. I usually go live on Sundays around this time, but I'm going to be with my family during Easter, so this would be the live stream for now. Tomorrow I'll also be busy as well, traveling, so I guess the next live stream is probably going to be Monday. But be on the lookout for some of my my YouTube shorts and my TikTok videos. I might make another one or two here if I got the time. And yeah, we'll just plan on revisiting and looking at the charts here and looking at the cryptocurrency prices around this time on Monday, maybe a little bit later, like 5 or 6 p.m. East Coast time. Okay. All right, guys, take care and good luck trading and investing in whatever asset you decide to get into. And just a reminder, this is not financial advice. This is just my opinion. We're just here to learn some stuff about crypto, and hopefully I'm able to entertain you guys. Take care, guys.